Recently, Konami released the two-player starter set after some scathing feedback by the shareholders on the appeal of the new player friendliness of Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of that drama was a while ago, but for those of you who do remember, you'll recall that watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Streams in Masudu was highlighted as something that doesn't always translate into new players. So, here we have a new product at an MSRP of just $20. Two full decks are designed to give new players a complete tutorial of how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Will this save the new player experience? Are we going to get a massive influx of new duelists, capping tournaments out, breathing a whole new life into the local scene, and breaking YCS attendance records? Probably not because of this specifically, but it's a start, for sure. We sat down and took the challenge. As seasoned veteran players of the game, we tried out Konami's two-player set at locals, following the tutorial page by page, and doing a random duel with the deck for fun to see if this little product is something worth its salt, even for experienced duelists. So, you get two decks which are stacked and in an order that you aren't supposed to shuffle with a thick, and I'ma be honest, thick, wordy booklet explaining the game and guiding you through the duel. Let's hop in and see how it plays out. There is also a genuinely very cool twist at the end, which, if you stay tuned, you'll see what happens. Do you like vlog content, and are you interested in more Farfa TCG? Next week, I will be bringing back my vlog series in full swing at locals every single Wednesday. I'll be reading out the patron names every single week, so if you want to get it early, then I would much appreciate that, and hopefully you can help me with developing and progressing this series into something big, beautiful, and just aesthetically pleasing for you to watch every single week. So we begin the duel with a breakdown and explanation of all the things like how stats, the actual card layout looks like with the stars and things like that. We begin with drawing for turn, and we have a hand full of vanilla monsters. Yes, just good old regular normal monsters. Which is fine. I mean, it's a new player experience, and you got to get to grips with the phases and how to summon things and how to do the battle phase. My opponent sets a card and passes turn. I draw with a bunch of vanillas in hand and proceed with Sparkman. Yes, that's what gives us the edge in this one. They simply kiss, and I pass. And I suppose this is probably to teach you how numbers work into defense monsters versus attack monsters, and 16 hitting 16 doesn't do anything, etc. He sets another card, and play goes back to us, which is then used to normal summon Gilgarth, running over that Queen's Knight. Player X then normal summons the mighty 2002 Extraordinaire Lajin, running over my Sparkman. We then proceed with the tribute summon of Klausalas, clearing Lajin. Did you know that Klausalas with the tribute summon? I thought it was just a level 3 synchro. Insane gameplay so far. I know, but the thing is, how else are you really going to teach people about things like phases and attacking, right? Like, this kind of makes sense, I suppose, for its power level right now. Giant Soldier of Stone is cleared, and he begins his turn with a trade-in on Rabadragon for 2 draws, setting 3 to the field and passing back to us. We normal summon Enpachi and run into No Entry, a trap card which puts all monsters into defense mode. And now I suppose this is where the player is starting to learn about things like trap cards and how to use spells and traps in general. So this is really cool, and because there's 2 monsters left on the field, tribute summon the mighty Dart Magician. Backup Rider is used here to boost the Enpachi, trying to attack Dart Magician, but it runs into a Draining Shield. Player X clears the Enpachi and sets a White Ninja, and play passes back to me, which is a set and a pass. And I think we made a slight error in this duel, and we skipped this part, so at some point we go back and fix it, but there should be a set face down at this point after the Enpachi is cleared, so apologies for that. It's just when you read the book, there's like a lot of it feels like role-playing, you know, there's like a lot of just like words that don't really need to be there to like explain the tutorial, so we're just kind of like scanning and skimming, like ha 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 ha, Yu-Gi-Oh! Player not reading, I know. He attacks a new face down, which is an Apprentice Piper, and this guy is kind of nuts because it just special summons Launcher Spider and everyone's favorite Hearthstone content creator, Ramranch. Main phase 2, he flip summons the White Ninja that should have been set last turn, destroying Ramranch, no, Hearthstone, and then activates Thousand Knives, destroying the Launcher Spider. This is the most Bat-Chest Dart Magician play you ever see. He passes turn, and now we set 1 card and pass back. He draws and goes straight into the battle, running into Storming Mirror Force, a huge play that goes into set pass into set pass. Player X gets to special summon Cyber Dragon and then activate Cost Down, which lets him normal summon Sword freaking Stalker without a tribute. He runs over the Spirit of the Harp, and I chump block the next attack with some Scapegoat tokens, leaving me on 3. Player S gets to draw and goes for a Swords of Revealing Light. Bat-Chest, yes. We also go for a card D to draw 2 and pass turn. Draws and passes, and then we draw to activate 1-time passcode, passing. Okay, and then draw pass into normal summon Obsessive Uvaloop, a tuner monster. Yeah, you see where this is going, right? Yeah, we're gonna make Stygian Sergeants, not the Rhino Saber. I'm racist. Okay, they look the same, sorry. What you see on screen right now is Rhino Saber. It should have been Stygian Sergeants, but we do fix it. This clears the entire field, and the passcode token attacks for some damage, bringing him back down to 8,000 from the Draining Shield. We pass, and then player X normal summons the previously bounced White Ninja, a level 4, and then activates Call of the Haunted. Pause. Hold up. Now, here's a major criticism of where I have of this. Previously, we drew DD Crow like 2 turns ago. It was like during some of that pass fiesta under swords, and my opponent just activated Call of the Haunted. The tutorial tells you to not use DD Crow, even though they're bringing back a guy from a grave to make an Xyz summon. This is obviously like just a clear good opportunity to use DD Crow. So it's literally teaching you to misplay. Like objectively, there's no way you can justify that this would be a correct play or a good play. Now, obviously, I understand it's trying to teach you the game. It's trying to just, you know, it's not about optimizing plays, but I think a huge part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is optimizing your plays and finding good opportunities to use your disruption, right? So I really didn't like how it, like, basically taught you to do, like, something really wrong and incorrect, I feel. But anyway, I might be looking too deeply into this. Let's continue. So he overlays for Daigusto Emerald and uses the other effect of Emerald to revive the Rabid Dragon, which is followed up with an Eldritch the Golden Lord, sending the Stygian Sergeants to the graveyard. So remember that DD Crow you were talking about, right? Well, it tells you the DD Crow Skull successor now in the end phase, because it might boost the attack of a guy by 400, instead of dealing with the recurring indestructible boss monsters that can get to 3,500. Why wouldn't we just DD Crow the Golden Lord? Anyway, Swords of Revealing dies, and then we draw for turn, and we get Visas, Starfrost. We use the effect to pop a Scapegoat token and summon it to the field, and did you know that Visas has actually got a good field effect? Well, now it's going to be absolutely huge, because whenever it runs over a monster, it becomes bigger and bigger permanently. And I guess that's why we didn't use the DD Crow, because now player X can return the Golden Lord and punch over the Visas for exactly 500. I suppose that was probably the only way they would ever get out of this situation, if we just let them keep the Golden Lord. So we go for a huge play here. Normal summon Ojama Green. Warrior returning live to add back Visas, pop the token, special Fearless, and then synchro summon for the mighty Vanadium Prime Heart, who has energy blades, or something, I forgot the copy pass now. It clears Rabid Dragon, and then we pass the turn. Player X summons Crane, reviving Giant Soldier of Stone to make a Giga Brilliant, and we have Xyz Reborn to make Emerald and revive the Rabid Dragon. So the field here is Rabid Dragon, Giga Brilliant, Golden Lord, and an Emerald. Well, if you just summon the Rabid Dragon in attack mode, Giga Brilliant boosts the field, including the Rabid Dragon, to like 3250, it clears the Prime Heart for damage, right? Clearly? Well, no. It teaches you to crash your Emerald and then summon Zeus in attack position to deal with the Prime Heart. Okay, teaching process, I suppose. We pass turn, and guess what? We do exactly that. We just go to the battle phase and force out the Zeus, which was summoned in attack mode, when it should just tell you to put it in defense mode. Which, by the way, probably goes to show you that maybe the Xyz deck is just better than the Synchro deck. It has Golden Lord, the recurring indestructible 3,500 monster. Well, anyway, Prime Heart recycles Visas to the field, and then we pass turn. He normal summons Chiron the Mage and tries to attack over Visas, which is then going to be protected by Barrier Resonator. It's a card that just is a hand trap that protects your tuners from battle. We draw for turn and then use Uvaloop's Grave ability to recycle it to the hand, entering the battle phase with Visas to clear Chiron. And in main phase 2, we fissure away the Zeus, and that's actually a good play here. But Zeus's secret effect activates, and it tells you to attach Needle Sealing. Ah, but now you must be wondering, well, this shuffles the deck, doesn't it? Now the deck is a mystery. So this duel is now no longer scripted. That's the big plot twist, which I thought, honestly, was a really cool thing. Because now both players are basically on no resources, and the opponent has shuffled their deck, and we're both at almost full life points. So you've probably been wondering when you saw this product, wow, I wonder who the tutorial says the winner is. Well, you actually just play it out from the point where it's taught you all of the basic mechanics. Here on out, it is just a random game. So I guess I'll run through the rest of this random game for you, and then I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on this product at the end of the video, and we can talk a little bit more about that. So player X draws for turn, and it's Burden of the Mighty. I draw for turn, set a monster, and pass. He draws a card, sets and passes, and now I flip summon my Mask of Darkness to recur Storming Mirror Force, normal summoning Uvaloop to sink into a Coral Dragon and discard to pop the Burden of the Mighty. He sets and sends Star Changer for the Golden Lord, bringing itself back, punching the Coral Dragon and giving me a draw, and then he passes. I draw Mask of the Accursed, which is an equip that says that Golden Lord cannot attack, and his deck is playing Xyz monsters, so putting that Golden Lord back into the graveyard should be kind of difficult. Well, he draws for turn, and the set MST hits my kunai with Chain, and then he tribute summons Dark Magician Girl over the Golden Lord, causing the mask to fall off. He sets Factory of Mass Production, and then specials back the Golden Lord for big damage. We draw, set 2, and pass. He goes battle. We eat the Dark Magician Girl, but we have Magic Cylinder for Golden Lord, and that's a huge 3,500 damage right there. You might be wondering why we discarded such a powerful card like Storming earlier. Well, because the last card in hand was Dark Hole, which now that Golden Lord's protection effect has worn off, we can use it for a full clear. Unfortunately, we can only pass turn, and he draws Gaga Magician, and also has a spell sending Gravity Axe for Golden Lord. Now, we didn't really track the life points at this point, not gonna lie, but we assume by bricking into Mage Power into a top deck Tribute Summon Morbius is probably the end of the duel. Well, so that was it. Yeah, that was a generally fun twist. I really liked playing it, and we had a secondary duel, which I'll leave playing up in the background now. I didn't want to, like, just commentate, like, what is essentially, like, a sealed duel at this point, unless you really want to. I don't know, maybe I'll upload the raw file somewhere. But it was a generally fun experience, and for my honest thoughts on this, well, cover to cover, the tutorial book is 62 pages. 62 pages! That is like a novel for, like, a just starting high schooler or something, middle school, I don't know what you call it. Now, I don't know how other games like Pokemon and stuff introduce their new players, and I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Is probably the most complicated game, but considering how this doesn't even touch upon like the other summoning mechanics like Pendulum, Ritual, and Fusion, and it doesn't even really talk about the damage step. In fact, I don't think it really explained too much of the details. There's also, like I mentioned, just sort of like a lot of role-playing, like there's just like a lot of wordy sentences, like things that could have been explained in like 5 words are explained in like 3 sentences, you know? Like, ha ha ha, reading, you know, get jokes on us, etc, etc. But, listen, you need to understand that for a game that's designed for kids who are very likely pretty TikTok-brained, and, I just don't see it holding the attention span of a lot of people. But what I will say that one thing I definitely really liked was there was a lot of illustrations. Now, it wasn't game state to game state, but it was literally just pictures showing you what the duel looks like and what your field should look like right now. And as someone who is a visual and kinetic learner, I think really struggling to read and listen to instructions, being able to do stuff and just see it in front of me was really helpful, and I think that was like probably the best part of the tutorial. Now, for those of you who are more experienced and veteran players, you might be wondering, well, this product is completely worthless for you, right? I mean, to some extent, yeah, you're not getting like crazy reprints and stuff like that, but honestly, for 20 bucks, you get a Zeus if you don't already have one, and you also get like a decent amount of mileage in games. So was this good for teaching is the main question here. Well, the reality is we won't really be able to tell as experienced players. It's hard to just delete 10 years of game knowledge from your mind and try and put yourself in the position of a new player. It's hard to really imagine what it's like to not know how to summon monsters is like again. So the only real way to see if this would be a good product, I think, is to generally just get 2 players who've never played the game before and just sit them down and see how it goes. Which, I don't have any friends, so I can't test this theory. No, maybe someone else can do it. Maybe you can do that. See, the problem is the only friends I have are subscribed to me on twitch.tv/Farfa and my YouTube channel, and also contribute to the Patreon. These are my friends that we made along the way. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video here. Comment, like, subscribe. Next week, I will be having my vlog series starting up and running. So, that's going to be a weekly segment every Wednesday on the channel, and I hope you enjoy that. So thank you so much for taking the time out to go through this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on this product down below, and if you think this is going to be a decent thing for new players. And until next time, adios.